Okay, so this one is pretty confusing, not in the sense that there's a massive twist, like a gender swap or something, but in the sense that I have no clue who the main character is and who's narrating. What I can say though is I think Hikaru is the main guy and Sakura is the main girl, and I probably fumble these together during this review. So if things seem a little off, that's why. But now that that's out of the way, let's talk 451813, called Headspace Odyssey. It's from the artist Fushoku. There's a tomboy tag and it's kinda long, so let's get right into it. The doujin starts out with a shot of this outdoor place with someone on their phone and hearing someone say over here. And then it shows the main girl, not guy, saying yo. The guy from before says yo back, then checks the time asking if they're gonna meet at noon, then thinks he messed up and gave the wrong time. She figured he'd be there half an hour early, so she came early as well, and sure enough she was right. It goes to a close-up where the guy is thinking about how he and Hikaru had a funny little thing going on. They shared the same school from grade to high school, as well as just about every class, and tutors and extracurriculars. Their families barely knew each other, so they weren't technically childhood friends, but they've known each other's face for so long that they've got close in their own way. Hikaru was nice to him, but was also nice to everyone, offering to help people around, but this guy's actively not letting that happen, which I don't know why he did since he doesn't feel good doing it, but still liked her kind side. She barely expressed anything, let alone emoted, so he has no idea what's going on in her head. So he's all like, what do you even think of me, while she asks what's up with him. He says it's a weird thing to ask, but if this is fun. She says yeah, which he thinks is a dumb line, but says it's good. But it cuts to a cinema and some more inner dialogue about how even though they aren't dating, they would go to the movies, and that Hikaru only came along out of interest for the movies. He didn't get half of the movie this time, but hanging out together is enough for him. It cuts again to them outside, talking about how dark it is and that he'll walk her home since it's on the way. Still thinking about how he should have told her how he felt directly, but he couldn't choke it out. He didn't know if it'd be better to just go home and leave it, but one thing was certain, that being he wouldn't leave until he knew how she felt. But they arrive at her place, which is pretty big, and the MC starts to say something, that being see ya, but his stomach growls. So she invites him in for dinner. So he goes in and says not to worry about him, but she says her folks are at work, which is weird for a Saturday night, but they're both doctors and out on a loan to another hospital out of town, so they won't be coming home and probably aren't until tomorrow, so they've got time. He freezes, then offers to help her out and was too nervous to taste a thing. They watched another movie which has the cast playing Truth or Dare, which to him is a good way to sour things between characters in American movies. To her though, it's an obscure game, so what's the big deal? The two ramble about random stuff like that all the time, but he says that it's maybe not as big in Japan because King's Game is the same kind of deal, and that Truth or Dare is too serious in Japanese for a party game, and picking either for yourself isn't very Japanese either, so they don't have the nerve to try it. But it sounds fun to her, and unlike King's Game, you only need two to play, which of course would lead to the two playing, and she asks him. He thinks before saying dare, and his dare is to give an honest answer to her question, which is literally just truth, but he asks what's up. She wants to know if he likes her. He's surprised, but she curls up as he stutters to try and phrase it. He stutters so bad that he coughs, and she apologizes for asking that, since it's not like he can just say he doesn't like her to her face, but that isn't it. He's not taking this lightly, and was meaning to tell her himself one day, but she shocked him by asking that. Then he tells her that he does like her, and goes back to the game. She picks dare, and he gives her the same dare she gave, and asks if she likes him, and she doesn't try to play it up, just saying she's the same way. He pauses, and she says that it's dull since they just ask each other questions, so she gets hyped up and kisses him. One thing leads to another, and they go to the convenience store to buy condoms. They're walking back, and she's hyper analyzing the condoms while the two are making small talk, holding hands. She felt his nervousness in his palms and was happy knowing that he's aware of her. And they get back to the apartment and do it. They finish up in two locations and are in the bath talking about how they went and did it. There's some small talk, and she says that it's late if he's gonna stay over, but scratches that and goes for another plan of action, this being jumping on him, and he pauses before saying that he'll stay. And the doujin ends with her saying that's the spirit. Overall, I rate this a 10 out of 10. It's kind of confusing because I don't know if the narrators keep switching or if Sakura was the narrator throughout the entire thing or what, but it was a good read nonetheless. The art style is amazing as always for Fushoku, and the characters were amazing. I recommend you check it out for yourselves as always. And that's all I got. I'll see you in the next one.
Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul. These hentai babes make me drool. Hasune Miku is great. She makes me masturbate. Fairy tale.